What is going down, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we have some breaking NFL news, as we've already had a lot of coaching hirings today, but we're just going to start with this one. The Carolina Panthers have hired Matt Rhule as their next head coach. Previously, the Baylor head coach, and he got paid. He got paid pretty damn good for his first head coaching gig in the NFL. So the Panthers gave him a 7-year deal worth up to $60 million that has incentives or whatever it's called, that could be up to, that could, spiral that $60 million up to $70 million. So he is technically making, he could be making, with incentives or whatever, he could be making up to $70 million in those 7 years as being the Panthers head coach. Now, who knows, he'll be the Panthers head coach for 7 years, but say if he does, that's technically $10 million a year if he actually does hit that $70 million with incentives. So Baylor former Baylor head coach Matt Rhule is getting paid by the Carolina Panthers. So it looks as if the Carolina Panthers have found their guy, and when in doing that, they got their guy Matt Rhule. Here's my opinion on the hire. Now, I don't really know too much about this Matt Rhule guy. He's 44 years old, so he's a pretty young NFL coach compared to the coaches we have in this NFL league. But as for his career, in 1999, he was at Albright as a linebackers coach. From 1999 to 2000, he was at Buffalo. 2001, he was in UCLA. Then he went to Western California from 2002 all the way into 2005. From 2006 to 2011, he was at Temple. And then he actually went to the Giants in 2012 as Giants offensive lineman, assistant offensive lineman coach. Then he returned to Temple for 3 more years from 2013 to 2016. Was at Baylor from 2017 until 2020 this year, and then obviously Carolina Panthers hired him as their next head coach. So for Matt Rhule, he was actually, I believe the Giants were actually going to be interviewing him as their head coaching job. And now it all makes sense because in 2012, Matt Rhule was with the Giants as the assistant offensive line coach. So there are connections there. So I'm kind of surprised the Giants actually didn't end up signing him as their head coach because there's definitely some familiarity there. Now, when Rhule was with the Giants, obviously it was a different era. Tom Coughlin was there as their head coach, and Tom Coughlin had brought him in to be his assistant offensive line coach. So there's definitely some familiarity there with the Giants and Matt Rhule, but ultimately the Carolina Panthers reeled him in, and he is now going to be their head coach for the next 7 years on that $60 million deal with incentives up to $70 million. So great. I mean, this isn't a terrible hire because he's had experience in the NFL, and he's been coaching for a very long time. Now, this is the only little iffy thing I have. And I did the same thing with Cliff Kingsbury, and Cliff Kingsbury is actually a really great head coach, and he actually proved me wrong. I do not know how big of a fan I am of college coaches going from college straight to the NFL as the head coach, or as a head coach, straight to the NFL as the head coach. I don't know really if that, that takes a lot of gut and to hire somebody straight out of college to the head coach. Now, obviously, you interview that guy, and if he can impress you enough in that interview that, he's the right guy to be the head coach, you're going to hire him. And maybe that's what he did. He must have had a hell of an interview with Carolina's front office to get that Carolina job. And I could be wrong. Matt Rhule could be a great head coach. Like I said, I don't really know too much about the guy. All I know is he's 44 years. He's been around coaching for a very long time. He was with the Giants in 2012 as the offensive line coach. That's really all I know about this guy right here. So he is a defensive mind coach. So the they will get, well, he's worked as offense coordinator and quarterbacks coach in the past, but as with his NFL years, he was working as an offensive coach. So, Giants get their offensive mind, try to help with Daniel Jones, and we'll see how this pans out. I'm really excited to see what Matt Rhule can do with the Carolina Panthers. Because for Matt Rhule, it's really not about, Matt Rhule going into Carolina, he's got a lot to take care of. I mean, and the first thing he's going to have to take care of when he gets in there is figuring out the situation with Cam Newton. Does he want to keep Cam Newton, or the general manager and the Matt Rhule, the head coach? Are they on the same track about where they want to go, about the future with the Carolina Panthers? Do they want to keep Kyle Allen as their future? Do they want to keep Cam Newton? So he's got a lot of decisions to make once he steps foot in that Carolina Panthers front office. And we'll see what kind of moves he does make. But as for now, the Carolina Panthers gave him that 6-year deal, the 7-year deal up to $70 million. So he got paid. He got really good payday for him just coming out of college and being head coach in college. So we'll see how Matt Rhule does in the NFL. But as for now, he is the new Carolina Panthers head coach, and will look to try to get the Carolina Panthers back on track. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, there's a lot of coaching hires in the NFL this morning, and it started with Matt Rhule. But the Giants have found their head coach. I think the only team that needs a head coach that hasn't found their head coach yet is the Cleveland Browns. So, the Giants have also hired their head coach, Joe Judge. So I'm going to be making a video on that as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And with that being said, as always, go Niners, and I'll see you guys in the next one.